So my last video got a lot of different reactions and comments. Some were good, some were bad, some were ugly, some were just questions about how I did my istighfar. So I want to take a few minutes to go over those things. I loved reading everyone's comments about how istighfar changed their lives, how my video popped up on their timeline right when they needed it, or that they had stopped doing their istighfar and now that this video popped up, they're going to start again. So I really appreciate that. May Allah give you guys the tawfiq to continue. So aside from that, we had the comments about the bid'ah. Let's start with that. I mentioned in my last video that the number had no significance in Islam. The 100,000 times was not something that I claimed was from the Sunnah or that the Prophet ﷺ did this. I never said that. I mentioned it in my last video that I just chose that number because I either read it online or I saw someone share their story about how they decided to do istighfar for a greater number of times and Allah solved their problems. So I was in a dark time in my life. I was very hopeless. I was struggling a lot. So that's why I decided to do the same thing. I never did it with the intention of this is what the Prophet ﷺ did, nor did I ever say that this is something attributed to him. So for the people in the comments who are arguing that this is bid'ah, that you cannot do more istighfar than the Prophet did, he only did it 70 to 100 times per day. Are you better than him? Why are you doing it more than him? Obviously, I'm not better than the Prophet. I never said that. I don't know how you guys make these correlations, but um, I don't know how you guys draw these conclusions, but I never implied or thought that I was better than the Prophet if I was doing istighfar more than he was. Someone in the comments actually mentioned that Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu decided that he was going to say istighfar 12,000 times a day, every day. So that kind of shows, I mean, I did read that it was authentic, so Allah knows best. But as per that, you can see that you can set an arbitrary number and it can be more than 70 or 100 times a day, which is more than what the Prophet ﷺ did, and it's considered fine. And if you don't want to do that, you don't have to. I'm not here to give you religious rulings. I'm not a mufti. I'm not here for 50 rulings. I was just sharing what I did. So if you want to do it, you can. If you don't want to, you don't have to. I'm just clarifying that from what I read, from what I know, this is not bid'ah. Secondly, I had a group of people saying that I did this for views. I'm doing this to show off, that I'm doing riyah, that I think I'm better than other people. I'm not sure where you guys got this from. The whole point of my video was that I did my istighfar, I saw changes in my life, and I'm here to share it with you guys. Because anytime I read stories or watch videos of people talking about their experiences with istighfar or salawat or anything, it increases my iman. It makes me more, it motivates me more to do that because I'm like, wow, this person saw changes. Let me try. Hopefully I'll see changes as well. And then when I do see the changes, I can't stop thanking Allah and being so amazed at how He answered my du'as and how this really worked. So it just strengthens your iman, or at least it does for me. So I had no bad intentions with this video. It's not for showing off. I mean, as I mentioned, I don't know you guys. You guys don't know me. I thought I'm being anonymous, so it shouldn't count as showing off because what am I gonna get from you guys praising me? I mean, we don't know each other. My own family doesn't even know that I did that istighfar for 100,000 times for my son. So these are things that I shouldn't really be giving any attention to, but it was hard not to respond because usually it's the non-Muslims who come in the comments and attack me saying like, oh, either comments about Islam or why are you wearing a mask or why are you covering your face or whatever it is. But this time around, it was the Muslims who were making comments about my appearance, about my voice, about my name. I mean, I don't know. It's probably better to just not give those comments any attention, either just ignore them or delete them. But sometimes it just hurts because as Muslims, we should know better. We should know that Allah is watching everything that we do. Allah is aware of our intentions. And we are all going to have to answer before Him one day. So just because we don't know each other doesn't mean we can talk down to one another and insult each other just because we're behind an anonymous username and just think, oh, it's fine. I don't know this person. I'm not actually hurting their feelings in real life, so it's okay. No, we're still going to be held accountable for everything that we say or do. So I just wanted to remind you guys of that, because I know it's kind of hard sometimes when you're on the internet and you're from the comfort of your home and you're just clacking away on your keyboard. You might think that it's fine or that you're not talking to a real person, but you're talking to a real person, and each of us will be held liable for our actions one day. So that's just something to keep in mind for all of us. And all of that aside, I had people asking me some questions about the actual istighfar. So one person asked me, how is it that you said that you completed the istighfar in less than a month, but then you also said that you saw changes overnight? Could you explain a little? So when my son was biting me and pulling my hair and scratching me, I started doing the istighfar, but while I was doing it, I wasn't seeing any changes. So let's say since it took me like 19 days of actual saying istighfar and 23 days total, with those few days in between where I didn't recite it, I started to lose hope after like a week or two, because I was like, oh, I'm still doing this. I'm doing it in great numbers and I'm not seeing any changes. What's going on? Am I doing it wrong? Or were those people even telling the truth when they said that they saw a lot of changes after doing istighfar? So I started to doubt a little bit, but clearly that was waswasa of shaitan. So I told myself, just continue. Just continue. Try to hit the 100,000, which was my intention. And even if I hit 100,000 and I still don't see any changes, I intend to continue. Just keep doing it. And hopefully, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will have mercy on me and maybe He will accept my du'as. So while I was doing this and I was getting closer and closer, it's not like I was seeing improvement day by day, like he slowly stopped pulling my hair, but he's still pinching me, or he's still biting me, but he's not scratching me. It wasn't like that. I was just seeing that he was continuing the same as before, but then one day we woke up and he just didn't do it anymore. So that's what I meant by I saw changes overnight, in the sense that he was still doing everything. So I thought, okay, Istighfar is not working. And then all of a sudden he stopped. So my advice to you guys, as a sister, is if you do the istighfar and you feel like you're not seeing any changes, don't give up. Just continue, have faith, and have iman that Allah is hearing you and He's watching you and He sees your intention and the fact that you have so much hope in Him, and He will reward you, inshallah. So that was one question. Another question was, sometimes I watch reels and I say my istighfar during that time. Is that okay? So again, I'm not a mufti, I'm not a scholar, but from what I've read and videos I've seen of scholars speaking, some of them will say that you shouldn't even be watching reels, you shouldn't be watching movies and all that. But again, it depends on your school of thought you follow or whatever opinions. There are difference of opinions on everything, right? But I would say, obviously, I'm assuming if you are saying istighfar, that you're God conscious, that you're thinking of Allah. So I know that, of course, you're not watching anything inappropriate. So if you're just watching reels and you're saying istighfar, I say continue. Continue, because you're still remembering Allah. You're still bringing God consciousness into your life. You're still thinking of Him while you're doing your other activities. So this leads me to the other question, where someone asked me, were you present while you were saying your istighfar, or were you doing other things? So there were times where I was sitting and just dedicating myself to istighfar alone. Let's say if my husband was driving us somewhere and it was a long drive, like 3-4 hour drive, I was sitting and just reciting my istighfar. So it was pretty focused. But most of the time, I was doing my istighfar while I was doing other activities, like cooking or walking or whatever I was doing, you know, shopping in the store, getting groceries. I was still doing my istighfar with my tally counter. So even if you don't have that dedicated time, if you can do at least 5 minutes, or like after salah, some dedicated time where you're just doing istighfar and you're focused and present, that's great. But if you feel like I either have to be all or nothing, like I have to do everything with full focus, or my duas are not going to get accepted, I don't think that's the case. I realize it's getting really dark. I don't know if this helps or makes it worse, but even if you don't have that dedicated time to devote to just istighfar alone, don't let it discourage you. Whatever time you have for istighfar where it's just focused, do that, and the rest of the time just multitask. Do whatever else you're doing, but say your istighfar as well. Someone asked how much time it took me. So for me, I was just saying astaghfirullah alone. You can say any variation of it. For me, I just said astaghfirullah, so it didn't really take that long. I think I did 3,000 within an hour. So depending on what your goal is, you can definitely hit like 10,000 in a little over 3 hours. But again, it's not about the numbers. It's about your intention, and it's about feeling it and just doing it. So don't get so focused and caught up on the numbers. Just do as much as you can. Someone was asking if they could recite this while they're on their period. And yes, you can. You don't need to have wudu to do your adhkar. So if you're going to say istighfar, you can do that without having wudu, and it's fine to do during that time as well. It's actually really good to do during that time because you can't really read Quran or do other stuff. So if that's all you can do during that time, then make the most of your time with your adhkar. So those were the questions that were asked the most, and that's why I decided to answer them. Hopefully I didn't leave out anything important. If you have any other questions, please leave them down below for me, and inshallah I'll answer them. I wish you guys the best, and inshallah talk to you guys next time. Assalamu aleikum.